The live button has been pressed. And YouTube says we are indeed live as of right now. I think. It says we're live, so I'm just going to go with it. Welcome, everybody. It's 2018. First episode of the new year of the 4GwQPodcast. It is January 4th, 2018. And I'm looking out my window right now, and it's looking really snowy, and I'm dreading going out there. So I'd love to make this podcast quick. But, slow, I should say. But unfortunately, it's going to be a quick one. But everyone's excited. I know Assassin's has been, twiddling his thumbs all day trying to get this thing going. So we'll get it going. Welcome. For everybody watching on YouTube right now, thank you very much for coming in and chilling tonight. We will. I see. UK Daz is already here. The mod of the year. It's a new year, Daz. So I don't know. Are we gonna get mod of 2018 since you were the mod of 2017? So let's see what happens. Anyway, I'm Inferno 217. We get the full complement of characters here this evening. We've got making his 159th straight appearance. ZBCI Assassin. What's going on, bud?
Yo, what's up?
Nothing much. Sounding good. We also have Taylor returning from her booze cruise that she was on over the Christmas holiday. What's going on, Taylor?
What's up, guys?
Hey, nothing much. And last but not least, we have with his live from his beard, we have Tony Clowns. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Nothing much, really. Just ready to talk about some gaming in the new year. Ready to get into a few topics here that, not really a ton of pressing topics, but a few controversial ones. So we'll get into that tonight. Certainly, one of the most controversial topics we'll talk about tonight is the Kinect adapter being discontinued by Microsoft. Right, Assassin? Assassin's really pissed off because he has a Kinect and he now has an Xbox One X. He was looking to play some Disney Fantasia for us on stream, and now he's not going to be able to do that. So I know he's really upset.
Well, my Kinect is basically broken, so I can't.
Well, maybe the adapter would have fixed it. You never know.
No, I tried. I have an adapter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you got the S, you got a free one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even bother with that nonsense. But yeah, no, you're right. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about gaming addiction becoming a real disorder, a mental disease, a treatable, diagnosable disorder and disease according to the World Health Organization. So pretty big deal in the world of mental and physical health in the world. So it's the whole world that's going to have to observe this at this point. So some have already moved into observing it and treating it accordingly. We'll get into that in a little bit. Of course, we'll talk about PubG. We've been playing it, we've been loving it, and some baby publishers and developers have been blaming the game for their own games not doing too well. So we'll get into that. And of course, the Nintendo Switch dominating the past few months. That's just 10 months since it's come out, right? Almost 10 months, and fastest selling console in the U.S. now. So that's a pretty big deal. We'll get into that. But first, before we start, we definitely want to give a shout out to a guy that's been on the podcast before. Taylor's, should I say, fiance at this point, Reezy, who you may have seen, I think about a month ago on the podcast. He came on, filled in with Taylor, did an awesome job, and he's going to be playing, I guess, professionally some PubG. Speaking of which, with Grizz Esports. We're going to put the link in the chat, and then I'll add it to the description after the podcast so that you guys can go check it out. But Taylor, you want to give us some more details about that?
Yep. So he just got signed with a new org, Grizz Esports. They're brand new. They just started back in December of 2017. And he is signed up for a tournament that's going on Sunday. I believe he said he's playing at 2 p.m. I don't know whether that's Pacific or Eastern. I think it's Eastern time. But yeah, he'll be in Group C playing. So I think that's the third round or something.
Nice. Nice. Yep. And so actually have an I'm looking at it right now. They have like an official scoreboard and all this. I'll post a scoreboard link in the chat as well. Yeah. So where are we at? So Grizz Esports. Yeah. So what's his name on here? Because it's not Reezy.
On
the Grizz Esports one.
What
does he call himself?
Should be Reezy Lounge. Reezy Lounge.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's his. Or Reezy Lane, something like that.
Lane 013.
Yep. Lane 013.
Lane 013. So that will be Reezy when the time comes to watch him. When is it again? Sorry.
On Sunday
at 2
p.m.
p.m. Sunday 2 p.m. Right. I remember the time, but I couldn't remember the day. So definitely go check that out. I know I'll be checking it out for sure. And this is kind of cool. The scoreboard and everything. Group A, Group B, Group C. Oh yeah, 1400 Eastern time. Yeah, so it's definitely 2 p.m. Eastern. So 20 participating teams. Wow, kind of cool.
Yep.
So yeah. So speaking of that game, I mean that thing's been blowing up. I know. I want to get Assassin's opinion on this thing right away because I put here emphasis on the blowing up because. This thing's been talked about left and right. You know, the mass appeal, the 300 million concurrent players on PC. The Xbox is selling left and right because of this thing. They started bundling the game with brand new Xbox One X's. So that that got people to start playing and start buying consoles in order to get the game. So Assassin, I know you've been like eating, sleeping, and drinking and snoring and everything in PubG. So I know it's been a couple weeks. So give us some impressions. What have you been doing in the game, and just give us some thoughts.
Oh, okay. So what I've been doing in the game is chicken dinners.
Yep.
We got one today with clowns and my friend Joe. Got 7 kills. Good game. And I gotta say, they've done a pretty good job, I think. Like, the first, few days of PUBG was a little rough for people. I don't think we played, as many of those days. And then they've been pushing out updates every week since then. Server side or client side. So, I mean, this game is getting better and better. It feels a lot better than it did, a month ago. So I mean, it's a lot of fun. Clowns and I have been just wrecking it, and sometimes even getting destroyed by rocks.
Yeah, so I mean, you say that the game has gotten a lot better, but there are still glitches here and there. I know the game has come out of beta, quote unquote, on PC, but it's very, very much still in game preview, I would say, on Xbox. Even though there's been a lot of improvements, frame rate and such. And there goes a plow down my street. But yeah, I mean, thing is a lot of fun, even though it's really glitchy and things happen for inexplicable reasons. It really is a ton of fun, especially when you do, the group squad gameplay list, and you're not, going in solo. Like if I go in solo, I don't have as much fun, not nearly as much fun.
I find a totally different game. Not to interrupt, but I haven't played solo yet. But what I've seen from people, it's like a totally different game than you go into a squad or even do a solo squad versus just solo. It seems like a totally different experience.
Yeah. No, it is. It completely is. And I definitely get out much sooner in solo, even though I play more tactically. I feel like I'm more aggressive in squad or duo, but I still go out sooner because I don't know. Maybe I just don't play as smart, or maybe I feel like I have to get the leg up more because I don't have somebody there backing me up. Albeit sometimes you're just backing me up with a pistol, but I feel that back up and I know that, you're there. So maybe that's why, but I don't know. Even with the glitches, I'm having a lot of fun in group. In solo, not so much, but in group on Xbox, I think it's definitely a worthwhile experience. And obviously, if you just got an Xbox One X and you're playing the game essentially for free because it came with the console, then obviously you're probably enjoying a free game that you got. But anyway, Taylor, have you been checking it out? I know you guys obviously have it.
I haven't played it on Xbox. I've only played it on PC.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's I was gonna play it one night and then I went to download it. It didn't finish downloading until I got off, it was like 10 o'clock at that point, and I was like, I'm not trying to play PUBG right now. I'm trying to go to bed.
Yep.
And then I just keep forgetting about it because I've been so hyped up for Smite because Smite Worlds is happening right now.
Right. Yep. I knew Smite was gonna, because I'm like I'm sifting through Twitter and I'm looking on the news and stuff, find stuff to talk about for the podcast, and I saw the Smite thing. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, do we talk about Smite or? But
no, I'll talk about it next week because then the tournament's over.
Exactly. So yeah, it'll definitely be on the podcast next week. So spoilers.
Yes. Finally.
But yeah, I mean, you've been playing on PC. You obviously like it. I mean, it's kind of a totally different experience, to be honest. I mean, it's not even the keyboard and mouse thing, because I feel like a lot of people have kind of gotten over that. I feel like they've done a good job kind of with the aim assist on Xbox. So
I don't think there is aim assist.
Well, it's not like, I'm sorry, it's not like traditional aim assist where like you hover over somebody and you kind of get a lock on or whatever, but it's definitely like you feel the difference with the mouse if you're moving the cursor around. Like there's no dead zone on PC, you know what I mean? Like you move the mouse, it instantly reacts, where on Xbox there's a little bit of an assist there, so you're not like moving that cursor all over the place. That's what I meant by aim assist. That's probably the wrong thing to call it. Probably should refer to it more as like dead zone, but I don't know. I feel like that's much easier to handle with the right stick if there is a little bit of a dead zone. Even though usually I like turn that down, you know, in Battlefield or some more, I don't know, advanced shooters, I should say, you get some control over that kind of thing. I usually turn dead zone way down, but in PUBG, like with the third person view, I feel like the dead zone is definitely a good thing. Clown's last but not least with his larger than life microphone that everyone's talking about in the chat. What have you been thinking about the game?
I'm loving the game so far. I think it's one of the best games of 2017 that's come to the Xbox One.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's like it's definitely one of the most compelling, and it's definitely something that is easy for the average Xbox gamer to kind of get into, I think. So even though it is, you know, preliminarily a third-person shooter, so that's not necessarily in the wheelhouse of FPS people, but at the same time, you know, it's finally a proper, like, traditional battle royale game. Like Fortnite, like we talked about before in the past couple episodes or past episode, I think Fortnite runs way better than PUBG without a question. And on console, I'm still debating whether I'd rather play this or rather play PUBG or Fortnite rather. But even so, I still think this is a worthwhile experience. And I know my brother's not here in the chat, but if he were here, he'd probably be like, "Oh, this game's trash," blah blah blah. And people say that, but man, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it.
He's the minority on that one, Inferno.
Nice.
He's the biggest minority on that one. A lot of people are loving it despite its glitches and its flaws. And every time you play PUBG, whether it's on PC or Xbox One, it's like a whole different experience because everything changes because there's no guarantee that everybody's going to play the same way each time.
Right. Yep. And you're getting people to totally, I don't want to say like look past the flaws, but when you guys are playing, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Clowns and Assassin, because you guys have played a lot on Xbox, a lot more than me. When you're playing, you don't really hear people like in the chat like talking about the flaws. You hear people talking about strategy, like people cooperating the way that you want in a shooter game. Like you've wanted this forever, for people to use party chat correctly instead of like, you know, goofing off or like not cooperating or whatever. You hear people cooperating more than people being like, "Oh man, that lag just totally fucked me over. Oh, man, I can't even pick this up because of the lag," or this, that, and the other thing, you know? Do you agree with that?
The only time I know we talk about it, I know if we go to the shooting range, which I don't recommend anyone go there, the game crashes a lot. I think I recorded like 8 times it crashed. Like I would spawn in, crash. And then the rubber banding, like, you know, people will say, "Oh my god, I'm rubber banding," especially in the beginning. But other than that, like, I don't hear anything. talking about anything else.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, as much as it rubber bands, and the rubber band is quite annoying at times. Nobody complained about it on the PC. Everybody praised it on the PC. All the journalists were like, "Oh, the game is great. You guys should play it. It's awesome on the PC. If you get a good PC, you can up the stats on the game." Yep. Nobody complained.
Yep.
I was watching someone play PubG today, and they were rubber banding. They were on PC, so.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's happening everywhere. It's like people just want to complain about it because it's Xbox. I hate to say that, and I don't want to like fuel the console wars, especially in 2018. I mean, that's totally played out. But at the same time, like, this is a console exclusive Microsoft has for now, and it's definitely working to their advantage as of late. And people just want to trash it because it was cool to trash Xbox for a while. So people want to trash like the rubber banding, and you see people like Digital Foundry who are making like a living right now covering this game. Like this one game is literally lining their pockets right now in terms of views and ad revenue and everything. And their reason to exist on that channel right now is this game. And even they are saying, certain things about this game that I'm just like, this is the same situation on PC. Like they say the rubber banding thing, they say the frame rate discrepancy between X and S, like that happens on PC. I mean, I have a $1,300 PC. You're gonna find somebody with a $400 PC who probably gets fewer frames than me. Or are you complaining about that? Are you saying it's unfair to those people? Like, of course not. Of course you're not. So like, people just like to shit on it just to shit on it and get some views, but at the same time, they still enjoy playing it. You know what I mean? They're not going to stop playing it. I'm sure, when Digital Foundry's done with their videos trashing on, how unfair it is to the S people, they get right back on their X and they just play it all night. You know what I mean? It's like they're talking out both sides of their mouth. But I don't know. That Digital Foundry video, it didn't like trigger me per se, but at the same time, it's kind of like, come on. Like, you're going to go there because
it has triggered you.
Yes. The trigger meter was filled to like 54%, 54.5%, because it's just like this has been the existence of gaming, especially with this game that was on PC for 5 months or whatever, 6 months before it came to Xbox. Like, of course, that's what happened even on the PC space, and now it comes to Xbox, and you've got the S that costs $200 and the X costs $5. Which one is gonna run the game better? It's like, come on, man, let that go.
The one that has specs better than some PCs.
Right? Yeah, exactly. The one that can push the game at 4K HDR at 30 frames per second. I mean, people forget to look at that too. Like the game's pushing 4K HDR. In this game, like, what about the draw distance? Like Xbox One S, if you looked at it, it looks like fucking claymation. You know what I mean? The game looks like trash on the One S. Are you going to complain about that being a discrepancy? Like the draw distance, the ability to see people running in the foliage in the distance on the X versus the S? No one's complaining about that. They want to complain about frame rate. It's like, just enjoy the game. I mean, if you're on the S and you play well on the S somehow, some way, then just enjoy it. What were you going to say, Assassin? Sorry.
People should complain with the lack of colorblind options. I swear I probably annoy Clowns and Predator and everyone else who we play with when they're like, I put a marker here, and I ask, where? Because it's orange or whatever. And like, or, the greens. Like, I can't see people unless they're like standing up running at me. Like, I'm fucked.
I'll drop my marker, and for some reason I'm... Oh, go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead.
There was one time where I put the like the red-orange marker, whatever you want to call it, somewhere on the map, and I forget. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but me and the other guy jumped, and Assassin was looking at the green marker that Madman put down in the ocean. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to the ocean." Jumps in the green marker, and Joe's like, "Oh, yeah, I was just kidding."
You're like, everyone's like, "I put it here." I'm looking at the map. I don't see here. Like, that's not a town.
Yeah, it's like, when I play duos with Assassin, I'm like, all right, how does drop in here look? And he'd just be like, I have no idea because I can't see that. And I'm like, fuck. Like, all right, I'm like, all right, you put down the marker then. Like, you decide where we go.
Assassin has to decide every time.
Yeah, Assassin decides where we go.
See, I don't want her to decide because I want other people to decide because, just.
No, I know.
You guys gotta start saying names.
Yeah. You know what? We gotta work on that. Like, I think we've gotten it down to this point, like, you know, the names of places. But before, I was just like, here. Like, I didn't know the names, you know?
Well, the problem with also the map, when you say names, unless it's, like, huge, like Gatka, good luck for me to see that.
Yep. The small areas, you have no idea. And the small areas are often the places you want to hit. Yeah. You know, so you don't get bombarded by, like, 10 people dropping in, looting the same place, so...
Yeah.
Then you guys just need to play with Reezy so you can learn all the names of the places because he knows every single name.
I'm sure Reezy would be like, oh, there's an enemy right there in like F5, and we're like, how the hell do you know that's F5 already? And he'll be like, I just know.
Pretty much.
Like, all right, F5. Let me press up on the D-pad and look real quick, or whatever it is back. But yeah, this thing is blowing up. I mean, we could talk about it all night, but let's move on to some more PUBG news. And just, speaking of blowing up, it's totally blown up in Cliff Bleszinski's face, and and everyone over at Boss Key and Nexon. I didn't even know who Nexon was until the story came out. I was like, what the fuck is Nexon? But apparently they're the publishers of Lawbreakers, and they're complaining because they told their investors the reason that Lawbreakers didn't hit expectations is because of PUBG. I mean, is this gonna be like the running trend? Is this gonna be like oh, what do we tell our investors that are totally pissed off and want to pull out of investing? Let's just tell them, you know, it's a once in a lifetime PUBG game that's out, and like, what, you know what I mean? It's just,
well, what sounds better to you? You're an investor. Someone tells you, oh yeah, our game's shit. That's why no one bought it. Or there's a game that sold like 1 billion copies and no one, you know, everyone's on that. Like, what sounds better to you?
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But like, I mean, is Lawbreakers even in the same genre as PUBG, really? You know what I mean? Are they like direct competitors? That's like saying, no, I don't know. I don't have an analogy for that. I thought I did, but then I thought about it in my head, and I was like, that's actually stupid.
You know, how come they're not complaining about Overwatch?
I don't know, because Cliffy B said that they could coexist with Overwatch, that there's room for something else more than that. Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous that obviously the whole Lawbreakers thing we've talked about before, it's total train wreck. I think they peaked last month at like 90 concurrent users on Lawbreakers, whereas PUBG has like 3 million. What do you think? PUBG is just like taking like 1 million of your concurrent users. What if, you know, like I could just imagine what if PUBG just like went down for some reason. They were like, oh, we got hit with some copyright fraud from some Chinese company randomly, sorry. And they like got hit and no one could play PUBG anymore, right? And then Cliffy B sitting there being like, oh, it's our chance. Like, people are just going to come and stop playing Lawbreakers again. That's not going to happen, you know?
No, unless they do a Battle Royale.
Unless they do Battle Royale, yeah. Just like Paladins is doing Battle Royale. Like, everyone's doing Battle Royale now.
Yep. That just got announced today.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, in games like that,
watching the stream at work.
Yeah, people are doing battle royale in games that totally don't make sense just to compete and try to pull some of that market share. But no, Lawbreakers. The reason Lawbreakers didn't do well, guys, is because of PUBG. It's because of a game in beta that just came out of beta like a couple weeks ago.
To be fair, PUBG is like all I've heard about the entire year 2017.
No, that's fair. No, that is fair.
I don't know. I mean, we heard about Dishonored 2 in 2017.
Shut up.
Thank God we did. That game was great.
Can we not drag it in 2018 now?
Well,
can it stop here?
I just saying that we heard about it in 2017. I didn't say anything negative about it. Do you have anything negative to say about it?
The tone in your voice was negative, sir.
No, it's very positive. Guys,
you are a liar.
Dishonored 2 in 2017.
They didn't have a DLC, so we heard about the DLC.
Yep, it's true.
It's
true.
Or has PUBG sales affected that?
Oh no, you don't hear Bethesda being like, "Oh, Dishonored 2 didn't sell to our expectations because PUBG exists." Like, it's just like that. It's like if Animal Crossing didn't sell well, they'd be like, "Oh, because PUBG exists." Like, I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but like, I'm trying to think of something else, but I can't.
Guys, the reason why nobody's on Splatoon 2 is because of PUBG.
It's because of PUBG, right? Yeah, Splatoon bombed because of PUBG. Exactly. That's going to be like the running joke. Like, people are just going to use that as an excuse because you got a game out there with 3 million concurrent users, which is absolutely absurd. But, I don't know. I thought this was pretty funny. That they said
maybe Cliffy B needs to put some single player mode in his games.
Yeah, or create a game with like some substance. Because if you play that game, like, wow, that game is just like so devoid of any substance. It's absurd. I feel bad because my brother bought it.
Roasted.
My brother. Yep. My brother bought it on PS4 and he bought like the deluxe edition or something crazy like that. I'm like, Dan, you made the biggest mistake. This game's gonna tank. You know, after playing the beta and seeing the response to the beta, and oh man. Anyway, yeah. So the people at Nexon, I'll just say the quote, and then we could probably move on in a bit. But they said the timing of the launch turned out to be unfortunate. Specifically, the blockbuster PC online game player, the blockbuster. They're talking about another game, but of course, calling another game a blockbuster. Blockbuster PC online game PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds came out right at the same time, making the market environment very tough for first-person shooters in general and for lawbreakers. It's not an FPS. Number one.
Well, there's FPS servers on PUBG.
Yeah, they do have first-person mode.
Yeah, but I understand. No, I understand. You can go into first-person mode.
It's the core third-person game.
Right. It's not like I would say Battlefront. I would say Battlefront's more of a first-person shooter than PUBG. Like think about this. In PUBG, what do you think the experience would be like if you were forced to play first-person mode for the entire time?
I don't know. The first-person servers aren't on the Xbox yet.
No, but let's just say you were able to do that. Like, let's just say, judging from your experience switching to first-person to like aim down the sights and stuff, like, do you think that seems like it would be a good experience?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'll just give you my opinion, which
is
obviously obvious.
Sometimes first-person is really nice, especially in building, but you're already disadvantaged after third-person's implementation.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, I feel like Star Wars like has that built in, like for Battlefront, for instance, Battlefront 2 specifically has that built in to a point where that's actually decently playable in first person. Whereas like if I were forced to play PUBG in first person, I feel like that tactical advantage you get from like being able to see all around you in third is just completely lost, and I feel like that's a huge part of the game.
Guys, the backlash against Battlefront 2 was because of PUBG.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Microtransaction complaints because of PUBG. Exactly. Exactly. So that's what EA should say to their investors when they miss their targets. But Predator H2O S says H2Os. I don't know why I called it that. I was like reading my phone at the same time. That guy's been playing with you. He's a good guy. I've met him. He says, didn't PUBG come out in March and Lawbreakers came out in October? Now, I don't know how factual that is. I think PUBG on PC came out in like May at the earliest. PUBG release date. Oh, it did come out in March. Holy shit. I wonder how many people are playing in March. I would love to see. I don't know. I didn't realize it came out that far ago because that's like 10 months ago. I thought it came out in like May, but I guess you're right. It came out in March, and Lawbreakers came out in like October. Yeah, or was it October? Or was it August? Lawbreakers release date was August 8th. So yeah, I mean, there still is a difference of like 5 months. So I mean, what the hell? And he's right. He says again. Predator says in the chat, Lawbreakers sold like shit because it sucked. Top it off, he didn't put it on Xbox, which is known for online players, not PS4. Yeah, you split the community. You put it on one. You put it on one platform when your bread and butter at one point in your career was Xbox, and now you put it on the other console. So that, I mean, that did you in. It's not PUBG. Give me a break. All right, we must move on to the most disappointing news of the week for Assassin. The Kinect adapter is discontinued, so we can't play multiplayer Kinect Sports anymore, Assassin. Sorry.
Darn.
I know.
Sad.
I know. It's really tragic. It really is. Yeah, so officially discontinued. Now, people were thinking that it was discontinued already because it wasn't in stock on pretty much anywhere. Amazon, Best Buy. You were able to buy it for like $40 at some point. I didn't really realize that. I knew it was free until like, what was it? Like April or something of 2018, and then they started charging or something like that. But I thought it was only available in the Microsoft store, but lo and behold, it was available quite a few places, and it was out of stock for like a couple months. So people were kind of speculating, was it discontinued or not? And it, in fact, has been discontinued as we found out. Let me see. I thought I wrote down a quote, but Microsoft had a quote saying essentially they're discontinuing it to focus on other requested experiences on the Xbox One. So they kind of like I guess they're gonna strip Kinect support out of the OS and out of, even being able to be used. It sounded like, I don't really know. Like,
well, now you have an excuse not to play Just Dance anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't tell that to my girlfriend, but I mean, because we just bought Just Dance 2018. But I think you can. I think you can play without the Kinect. But I mean, I can try to use that excuse. So thanks for giving me that ammo, clowns. Appreciate it.
No, she can just buy it on the Switch.
Forget that. I wonder if it's better on the Switch because of the motion controls. I wonder if it's really precise or not. Because I know, on when you have to use like the phone or whatever, like you can use the phone as the thing in your hand or whatever. That's really imprecise, but I don't know. Anyway, so what else can you play? Like Kinect Sports. There's a bunch of games that, people still do actually play on the Kinect, but just not enough people. So they decided to discontinue this thing. I think it's kind of weird is that what are they going to do, with the games that are already on the marketplace, or people that use the Kinect for like speech commands, like during watching shows, if they want to like pause or skip or fast forward or whatever. A lot of people have been using the Kinect. I know even Tim Dog, a good friend of the show, he used the Kinect for when he watched TV and stuff and used voice commands, and now they're making the push to Cortana. So I guess that may be part of it. I don't know, but what do you guys think? I mean, is this kind of like expected, obviously, or was this like a big move, or is this like Microsoft admitting defeat on one of its biggest touted peripherals not even like 10 years ago?
Well, Kinect was dead, let's just say a few years ago at this point where I make stuff for a dead thing, so
yeah,
it's not really a big deal. People are making it a big deal, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
Oh my god.
Go ahead,
scalpers are everywhere.
Really?
I mean, you're going to go on eBay, Craigslist. They're going to be scalping this for like thousands and thousands and thousands, according to Polygon.
Are you serious? Stop it.
No, they put in the headline that Xbox fans are angry, some crap, and then scalpers and this and that. Yeah, they're trying to hype up the fact that people are going to scalp the Kinect adapters. And I'm thinking to myself, well, nobody wanted it in the first place. There's no money in scalping that crap.
Yeah,
you're
true. Saying, if you want to eat it right now, take this Kinect adapter.
Uh-oh.
2 feet away from me.
Uh-oh.
And you can get a PS4 and a PC from just one thing. Okay. They want a Kinect adapter for a few $1,000s.
I'll pay you like $7 for it.
7,000 maybe.
I'll pay you $7, and I'll put $1 towards shipping.
No.
Wow. Yeah, no. So you're on eBay right now and you're looking, or no? Or are you just on Polygon?
Oh, just from Polygon. This is what they're trying to say, is that it's going to create an aftermarket of scalpers.
Let me see. Oh my god, there's a buy it now price for $340 for the thing.
People wouldn't have that idea if it wasn't for the stupid Polygon article.
Oh my god.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
here's
a buy it now price. Another one, $499.18, and one was sold at that price.
Just the Kinect or with the adapter?
Just the adapter. Yep.
Jesus.
And they're removing the ability from the OS, you said?
Well, I think that's what they're doing. Like, I think that's what, because I'm trying to read in between the lines for what the executive said. I don't know which executive it was, and I don't think it was even named, but somebody said that, they're doing it to focus on other requested features for Xbox One. Are they gonna? Does that mean they're gonna strip it or just not support it anymore and it'll just exist how it is?
It would make sense for them to eventually strip the support from the Xbox, because then it would give the Xbox more resources to put towards other things. So by the time some of these people get these adapters, who knows? It might be out of the OS then.
Yeah, but exactly. What about the people who bought games for it? That's
the thing that sucks. Like, I don't think this is big news either, because like you said, Assassin, this thing's been dead for years. I mean, we know it's been dead. We haven't been using it. But, you know, there are people that, you know, bought this thing for family-friendly games that need the Kinect. Like, you know, the Kinect Sports Rivals game. You know, Dance Central, somebody said. Oh, Predator said in the YouTube chat. Dance Central, like, you're not going to be able to play that game at all now. There's going to be a lot of games that you're not going to be able to play. And it's like, what? Those games just don't exist? Are they going to keep selling them on the store? Like, are they selling them right now? Can you buy them on the store still? Like, that's kind of shady if you can, because, you know, I know people still have the Kinect adapter, and for now it works, but the writing's on the wall. They're just going to discontinue the thing and probably strip it from the OS like they did with the snapping and all that kind of stuff. But what did Daz say? Oh, Predator says he put his on eBay for $300. Oh my god! Let me look at some other ones. Let me see some that was sold, because I saw that one that was sold for $4.99. Let me see sold listings. Let me see. Yeah. Sold listings. Kinect sensor and adapter, 150. See, that's not that good. Here's a Kinect. Here's one that's sold today. Kinect adapter for Xbox One S and X, brand new and sealed. 45 bids, 186.50.
Jesus.
Assassin's like, he has his head in his hands right now. Why didn't he just keep it in the box? Why did he have to take it out of the box? Here's one Kinect adapter Xbox One X S used, new, brand new in box, 205.50. Here's one 200, 189.99, 198.99. Here's one Assassin used, 199.99. So yeah, Assassin. Moral of the story is you better list this, because people are getting some money.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe you'll be able to buy the Switch then.
GameStop sold out of them. I just checked.
Yeah,
but they were selling for $39.99.
See, I didn't even know it was on sale like widely. I thought that was just a Microsoft thing. Like, you wanted to buy it, you just go to, you know, MicrosoftStore.com or even in the store and just buy it. I didn't think that was a widely available accessory, but
man, if Jizzle would have known about this and cashed in on it, he would have made more on this than Bitcoin.
There you go. There you go. UK Daz says he only used it for Mixer. Yeah, so that's another thing. People used it for broadcasting their system. You know, obviously using the webcam feature that a lot of people look for when they watch streams. And also, you know, I know a lot of people will just say, oh, well, now it's kind of supported that you can use third-party cameras, so why not just do that? But the Kinect one, like, you set it up kind of far away from you. It zoomed in and followed your face and that kind of thing. There were some advanced features on there that, you know, made it a more pleasurable experience from far away. Like, if you set your Logitech webcam, you know, 10 feet away from you where your console may be, you may not get that zoom. It may be, you know, a very unpleasant experience. You're going to look like a single pixel to your viewers. So, but yeah. Daz is now salivating for the Flip game, it looks like. You better go out. I don't know if the Flip game is as good in the UK, but you better go check. That's all I got to say. All right, next topic. Let's go to the Nintendo one. We'll end the show with the gaming addiction thing, but because that's kind of sad a little bit, to be honest. But the Nintendo, the Switch is the fastest selling console now in the US ever. So beat out like absolutely everything, even the PS2 from back in 2000, which I don't know if that was the one that was the leader. I don't know if that was a record that was broken, but in my lifetime, for what I remember, I think that was the one that was most crazy for something that I like personally remember for a console release. I remember that thing was like impossible to find, even more so than the Wii. Oh no, yeah, the Wii too. Yeah, I mean, definitely for you and Assassin, I think being a little younger, the Wii is probably more fresh in your minds. But the PS2 was like crazy. I mean, people are just like stabbing.
I know.
People
I have
for
a PS2. My mom, she told me when they went to go try and buy one for us for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
They went to like, I think she said like 5 or 6 stores.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found one and they were like, "It's mine now."
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting you to say they went to like some sort of back alley and like paid like $3,000 for it, because that's kind of like what it was when I remember it. It was like, okay, this thing came out, like it was sold out everywhere. If you saw that blue box, like you literally praised Jesus right there and like got down on your knees and like said a Hail Mary or something, because it was like impossible to find. I remember people selling on eBay for like ridiculous money.
Are you just talking about the launch of it, or are you talking about like months after launch?
No, the launch. Yeah, the launch. Yeah, I know now. This what we're talking about is like the 10-month window. They've sold 4.8 million units in 10 months, and that's a huge deal, obviously. So I think that's kind of like what they're basing it on. But right at launch, like I remember the PS2 thing being a really, really big deal. I don't even know if you could pre-order back then. You probably could.
Yeah, I think you
in store.
At Funko Land and stuff.
Yeah, just in store. I mean, online, obviously, I don't think that was a huge pre-order market, really. I mean, I know there were online marketplaces. I mean, eBay obviously existed. I know there were people like selling their receipts. They'd be like, "Oh, pre-order it. I've got the receipt right here, proven." Like,
CDNow.com was big back then.
Yep. So I know there were, but it's not like you just like went to Best Buy and online just reserved it or whatever like you could these days. But yeah, what do you guys think about this news? I mean, this is pretty serious stuff. I mean, Nintendo is officially back, I guess.
Good for them. Well, I have to say, good for Nintendo for making a console and having it sell.
Listen, Assassin, that comment right there just reeked of jealousy. Like you want one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add something.
I'm just saying, good for Nintendo. I mean, the Wii U was and now they came back and did their thing.
I gotta say something about the Switch. I was really happy that I have it because I took it down to St. Augustine with me, and I mean, it was just exciting to play some Nindies on there, since it's the Nindy station.
That's right.
And I went ahead and I spent $60 on Skyrim because I was desperately bored at some points at night, so I wanted to play it. And, I was thinking to myself, what game haven't I played yet that I would actually play on the Switch? It was Dishonored 2, and it wasn't there. Kind of sad.
Again, we bring up Dishonored 2.
No, in a good way. It's in a very positive way.
Because you wanted to play it, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I almost bought it on Xbox, and Assassin's like, don't put that crap on my list.
Siberia in the YouTube chat is saying he's debating between PSVR and Switch at tax time. I would definitely say Switch. I mean, without question.
I say Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have both. I have, I've played PSVR a decent amount. I've played my Switch way more and have enjoyed it way more. And even though the PSVR is like more, futuristic tech, and you will love playing games in VR for like a good hour or so before you're like, I'm done. Like I'm kind of past this. That's kind of like what VR is at right now. And whereas the Switch is like that portability, like Clowns was just saying, the game selection's decently good. I mean, yeah, the Nintendo Switch, I've heard. But I don't know. I think it's a valuable console. I think even the AAA games are very worthwhile. Obviously, it's won at the Video Game Awards a couple weeks ago. It won, a ton of awards. The games did that, for that matter. I mean, Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year, for God's sakes. So,
yeah, I played Skyrim on it, and I heard people complaining that there were glitches in it. So far, I haven't run into any glitches on the Switch. Mm-hmm. I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, Digital Foundry did another video on that, and they were really impressed with how it held up to the current gen consoles on the Skyrim remastered. So, I mean, this thing's got some horsepower on it, guys. Like, this thing, I know, we have one and we've played one. Assassin, have you played one at least?
Nope.
Wow, you haven't even played one. How does that feel?
Well, every place by me maybe Best Buy does, but every place by me doesn't have a huge Nintendo thing besides Best Buy.
Yeah, Best Buy has it. Yeah.
And you know what, guys? In all seriousness, if you're thinking about or sitting on the Switch, I would say get it right now, and you can still find a lot of units with 3.0 firmware. You know, and I'm telling you not to do this part, but in a few months, there's going to be public release of custom firmware on the Switch that allows you to go online. But I suggest that you do not look that up.
Wow. Well, that is not an endorsement by Clowns right there.
Don't look it up because they may have virtual console games in that custom firmware as well.
Wow. You don't want to get into that kind of stuff, guys. So stay.
You want to wait 6 years for Nintendo to drop it on the console.
Right, yeah. Almost a year and they haven't dropped that, which God, for being known as the Nintendo Switch, I can't believe they haven't done virtual console yet, but nonetheless, it's been selling really well. I mean, everybody's wanted one. I know I went to Best Buy a couple weeks ago, like before Christmas, and they had like hundreds of them, like just stacks, like even down aisles you wouldn't expect. Like right next to the Dyson vacuum cleaner, they had like a stack of Switches. And then the next week like maybe 4 days later, I went back to the same location. They were all gone. So I mean, these things are flying off the shelves, and I thought the price was going to be a little too high at $300, but I guess that's the sweet spot. I guess no one agrees with me. So,
well, it's Nintendo. I mean, even though the Wii wasn't successful overall, Nintendo fans still bought it at the price.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Hold on, before we get off this topic, I want to, because Assassin mentioned it and you just mentioned it, Clowns. How many Wii U's have been sold? Wii U consoles. Sold.
At least one. I have one.
At least one. I have one too, so that's at least two confirmed.
We bought it because the day of like my birthday or something, our Wii broke, so we couldn't play any games. So my mom went out and bought a Wii U.
Nice. Yep. True story, and I will prove it if people ask me to prove it, but I'm not going to show it on the podcast for privacy reasons. But if people do ask me to prove it, I will show it. My cousin, who is like 31 years old, bought her son a used original Wii for Christmas this year.
No way.
Okay, if you want me to prove it, I will send you the picture. I will send you the picture. But
how? Where?
At GameStop. So
yeah, they had sales on it too. Wasn't it like 20 or something?
Yeah, they had some sales. Yeah, I guess they had some sales on it. I guess the used original Wii was in there like Black Friday and Christmas ad. So yeah, I know. It's not a proud moment, but I mean, I will prove it if necessary. But like I said, I don't want to show it like on the podcast, but I will send you the picture afterwards.
It came out like 2008.
2006 to be exact.
I want to let you guys know that I'll be stocking up on them as well once GameStop starts getting rid of them, because they had a lot of potential, my friends. They had a lot of potential.
A lot of potential? Whatever do you mean, Clown? It's nothing you didn't
I'm suggesting that you don't look up the potential of a Wii.
Okay, yeah, don't look that up at all. Taylor, any final thoughts on this fastest selling console news?
I'm honestly surprised. I
Same.
didn't think that the Switch would be the fastest selling console in US history.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I think it just appeals to so many people. Like, you know, you ask people, well, who does an Xbox appeal to? A lot of people will say shooters, it's shooter box, right? And then PlayStation, who does that appeal to? A lot of people will say, you know, shooters as well, but a lot of people will say, like, you know, RPGs, yeah, international games, like Japanese titles. It appeals to those kind of people. But like Nintendo, at one point in its existence, very recently to be exact, people would say like only for their first party games, like only Mario games would you buy it. But now it, like, you know, appeals to handheld audience. Like everybody who is in the market for like a 3DS is gonna buy one. Anyone who's in the market for the Vita is gonna buy one. Anyone who's in the market for the Mario games is going to buy one. Anyone who's in the market for remastered games that are third party, that are like hardcore games, even like Doom and like Clowns said, Skyrim, that wants to play them remastered and play those on the go, like on a plane or something. They're in the market, so it just appeals to just so many people. I think that's part of the success, because honestly, if you told me that it was going to be the fastest selling console at $300 for essentially what is a handheld system, I would say, shut the fuck up. But
I haven't even played my Switch on a TV. I've only played it handheld.
Yeah, the experience on the handheld is awesome. Like, you look at that screen and you're like, oh shit, I'm going to be playing on a 7-inch screen. But then you look at it and you're like, wow, this looks so good. This plays so well.
Then you're like, this is only a 7-inch screen?
Yeah, you get really immersed in it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I take it, when I take it to the toilet or whatever. Like, I get really immersed in it. I'm like, geez, I need to. I'm like, I gotta get up from this toilet before like my legs fall asleep. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, one more race in Mario Kart. One more race in Mario Kart, which then turns into me not being able to stand up. But that kind of thing.
Xbox needs a portable version, so Tom's playing PubG and he randomly has to take a dump. He doesn't even blow up.
That is a great idea. Can we put that in the suggestion box in front of you? Got any connections you could send that to?
No, I don't. But I mean, doesn't Microsoft have their own like suggestions box that you can go online and kind of like, get enough votes for that? Maybe they'll push that through. But there you go.
Let's see. I need to take a dump, make the Xbox portable so I can play PUBG.
Well, it's not because me and Assassin have a gaming addiction or anything with PUBG. Sometimes when you're in the middle of a match, you gotta hide, and there's things that come up in real life that you have to go take care of.
Oh, certainly.
I mean, you come back and weird things happen, like you get shot at, but you're alive, and a random took you on a motorcycle ride somehow, and then parked you by a rock, and then the red zone happens, and as soon as you get back, you die. So if it was portable, I wouldn't have died.
Man, you got caught in the red zone because of the brown zone. You know what I mean? Unfortunate.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
That's Inferno's copyright on a T-shirt design.
There you go. Caught in the red zone because of the brown zone. What it would be is like a guy like getting frustrated because he hears the bombs going off like in his living room from his bathroom. He's like on the shitter like, no, quick, like he's like trying to push it out in time, and he like hears the bombs going boom, 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 and he's like just dying. He has like an X times. He has like an 8X scope and like incredible weapons. Like he found like two supply drops and got like ghillie suit and all this, and yeah, incredible.
True story. There was a guy I was playing Modern Warfare 3 with, and he had an old tube TV. I guess it was like a 32-inch or something, maybe even smaller. But he had to go take care of some business, and he actually hooked up an extension cord with his TV, dragged it into the private room, and he was playing the 360 from there. And then the TV cord came out while his Xbox 360 was still on, and I heard him yelling at his wife, and he's like, "Damn it, the extension cord disconnected. I can't do anything."
Yep. Amazing. I used to roll my 360 out in the hallway for our RA meetings in college. I used to be like, fuck this, I'm not going to sit all through this. I'm playing Gears of War, bro. But yeah, I mean, the Switch solves that problem. I mean, that guy would not be raging his wife. I mean, that guy might be divorced at this point because of that, and would have saved a marriage. So Nintendo saving marriages. Clearly.
Nintendo saving marriages.
But yeah,
got Netflix and Hulu in there too.
Yeah, Netflix and Hulu now. They finally, woke up and realized that you want these kind of things on there. Maybe they'll wake up and get Virtual Console working.
And this custom firmware that you should not look up, it may have Cody.
Oh, just don't do any of that, guys. Stay far away from that. By the way, the Wii U sold 13.56 million, according to the latest listing I could find. So about 14 million, between 13 and 14 million, and this thing's already like a third of the way there in 10 months. So what is that telling you?
That's crazy, man. Good for Nintendo. They did a really good comeback after that Wii U. Yeah. Everybody thought this thing was going to be a disaster. And I kind of had doubts about it. And then, their Super NES Mini was selling like hotcakes. Their NES Mini was selling like hotcakes. And I was like, okay, well, Nintendo's finally making a comeback, and they deserve it. I mean, capitalism and business-wise, Nintendo is extremely smart.
Absolutely. So let's see how many it sells in 2018 and what kind of new games will come out. I know they've got a few things that are coming out that are kind of compelling. I know they're going to have a new Kirby game, a new Yoshi game, and a new Metroid game. Hopefully it's coming out this year, but maybe not. But yeah, they've got some compelling stuff, and hopefully like more third party stuff comes. You know,
a new Yoshi game's coming out.
Yeah, the Yoshi game. Yeah, that looks sick. But yeah, hopefully like with the Doom thing, like in Rocket League, hopefully they've proven to people that people want to buy that stuff, and they will put their third party stuff on there in some way, shape, or form. All right, last topic of the evening. Kind of a sad thing. It's kind of sad, kind of ridiculous, kind of good at all at the same time in some way, shape, or form. The World Health Organization has deemed gaming addiction an actual disorder, a mental condition that is treatable and should be treated at the same severity as like depression, anxiety, which don't even get me started on that because that's absolutely ridiculous. In my opinion, that it would be elevated in the same regard as that. But yeah, they say that it should be on par with that kind of stuff and should be treated significantly. I wonder if people are going to start like claiming disability for gaming addiction.
I hate to say this.
I can do that. I'm doing it because then I can stay home and game.
I think that I think people will try to claim it, and I think people will get some companies to give them FMLA for it, or a portion of disability. But I think in the long run, after it's evaluated by an adjuster, I think they're gonna try to overturn that.
Yeah.
Even though it's a diagnosed condition, just like they try to overturn depression or anxiety all the time.
Right. And with those, like, you can get some actual pushback with some, like, real documented evidence that those things exist. I mean, a lot of people have been making the case that, there's been a significant amount of studies that prove that gaming is not, like, an addictive behavior to the same extent as, like, alcohol or drugs or, I mean, yeah, it triggers, neurotransmitter releases in the same way that can be addictive, but it's not the same thing as like being addicted to an actual drug, for instance. So I can't believe it's being put on the same pedestal and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's not to no pun intended, but it's depressing to think that, to be honest.
One of the things that bother me the most about this is that a lot of people that probably suffer from existing disabilities prior to this diagnosis would be like, I imagine people with like muscular disorders or severe MS or maybe Lou Gehrig's disease that might have some type of assistance at home to be able to play video games. And now what's going to happen? They're going to go to their doctor and be like, yeah, I had a great day today. I spent the last few days, playing COD at home and trying to talk to people. And doctor's going to come in and be like, Paul, you have a gaming addiction. You're going to have to stop everything you're doing. You just can't do that anymore.
Right, and that's kind of like what Siberia just said. Gaming helped his depression. So, like, what are they gonna try to treat somebody like that, or like what you just said, clowns, and try to like dissuade them from gaming because they deem it as an addiction and could possibly think that that's the problem in their life? When I just like the game, like in long stretches for sometimes, bro. Like, I'm not. Can you imagine, like, in this country? Well, I know in the UK, I know Daz in the YouTube chat has been saying that it's bullshit and there's a lot of mental peeps then. But, the UK has been the one that's been cracking down on this the most. I mean, they've already had existing, and you can look this up if you don't believe me because I don't have the evidence to post right here, but they have addiction centers for gaming already in the UK. Like, the UK is one of the most the biggest proponents of this happening because they're already treating it like it is an addiction without the diagnosis, and now this is just supporting it even more. So, in this country, in the U.S., I can just imagine how many people will like try to, play this off and claim it and just try to like mooch off the government and stuff. Like, it sounds cool, but at the same time, it's kind of like, fuck, for people that don't have this or whatever, you're gonna have to like pay for those people to, feed their addiction, if you will. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I know I'll probably get some backlash from people who say they do have gaming addiction, but whatever. Explain it to me then, because I must be ignorant. Unless you're Assassin, and then you actually do have gaming addiction.
Or you're Reezy.
Or you're Reezy, and you actually do.
Hold on. Let's ask Assassin a question on this. Assassin, do you happen to have any adult diapers near you?
Nope. there's a bathroom like 10 feet away from me, so I think I can get up. And,
do you happen to have a week's old sandwich sitting around, or like any empty bottles that have been there for maybe more than a week?
No.
Nope, you're not addicted then. Congratulations, you are perfectly sane.
You're cleared.
Do you have any buckets near you?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
Further
Further evaluation needed. Further evaluation needed.
There's a bucket. I have it right over there.
Further evaluation needed. You're gonna have to go to one of these centers.
Bucket.
You know how they used to think like, this is probably a controversial thing to say, but I'm gonna roll with it. You know how they used to think that like lefties or like people that are gay had a problem with them, and they used to like treat them by shocking them or like doing these crazy like torture things to like try to get the gay out of them or like try to make them righty and stuff like that. Can you just imagine like people doing that for like gaming addiction? Like they just throw on Call of Duty, you gotta like try to touch the controller, like the controller's in front of you and you try to touch it and it's like you like go on like a 5-kill streak. It's like, no, bad 5-kill streak, bad. Like, come on. Like, I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but I mean, at the same time, the only reason I'm doing it is because I can't believe it's being put on the same pedestal as stuff like depression, anxiety that are extremely debilitating to people.
I just want to bring up something when you mentioned about the left hand. My dad grew up in for the early part of his life. My grandpa dropped him off in a monastery. When my grandpa came to America, he dropped him off in a monastery in Italy with monks. And my dad used his left hand at his early age. And the monks said that to him, if you use the left hand, that means you're possessed. So he used to tie his hand behind his back.
Jeez.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was a real thing. Like, some people may have thought that I was joking when I said that, but that is a real thing. Like, people.
I knew you were telling the truth on that.
Yeah. I mean, I can just imagine people in the comments being like, "You're lying. That never happened." Whatever. But I mean, that kind of stuff happens. So, like, what are they going to do to treat gaming addiction? Like, are they going to like give you? I just don't know how you treat this. Like, you can put down the controller. It's not like. I don't think I mean, I may be ignorant. Like, if they prove this with science, then call me ignorant and slap me in the face physically or digitally. I don't really care. Flame me for all I care. But like, I don't think that there are people out there that literally are like, sitting there at a table and just like have to get their fix, of gaming. Like, it's not like booze or like drugs where it's like, your body has this, neurotransmitter
body has
release.
A chemical reaction.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that. I mean, they're just people that just like to fucking game, man. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just people that love to game.
Yeah, but there's some people out there that would love to game and not do anything, that they need to do, like a job, family stuff, eat.
Right, and people do that. People do that. I mean, I bet you that. I have not heard of it being like an epidemic where people like skip out on their family things because they need a game, or like, ignore their wife, or like, shit themselves because they need a game. Like, I don't think that this is like a thing. But
wasn't there a kid that played games for, I think it was like 2 days straight and died?
Yeah. I mean, that is like an extreme case. I mean, there are also people that just like walk for 2 days straight and die. You know what I mean? Like,
why did they do that? You just wake up, I don't walk 2 days straight.
I mean, stuff like that happens. Like, people do things for ridiculously long periods of time for no apparent reason and suffer from it. And like, I don't know. Taylor, what are we gonna say? You've been trying to get in.
Yeah, I honestly really hate this. As a person who is diagnosed with depression and anxiety, this makes me really mad.
Yep, it should.
It is not the same in any way. Nope. Anything, gaming has been a coping mechanism for me for anxiety and depression. It's allowed me to get over my anxiety a bit and be more okay with talking with people online and talking with people face to face.
Yep. Amen to that. I mean, I luckily don't suffer from those things, but I know a lot of people that do, and a lot of people, like you said, will use, gaming to get over that kind of thing. And like be social. I mean, unless you're Nintendo, it's never been easier to be social while gaming. but like you know, people who've been afraid to talk to people, autistic people that are like afraid to, you know, be seen, that are afraid to like converse or look you in the eye. Like they can talk to people without looking them in the eye. You know, they can, you know, express themselves better, express themselves more fully, or, you know, really connect with people that have similar interests. But no, now it's gonna be a disorder if you play for like, I don't know what it is, but I know it's like a 12-month evaluation cycle where if you play a certain amount of hours a day over 12 months, you'll be considered addicted to gaming by the World Health Organization. It's just unbelievable, man.
Reezy has ADD or ADHD. I don't remember which one exactly, but he has one of those. And gaming, it's something that helps him concentrate. He is able to concentrate on something while when he's gaming, and he's been able to move that concentration level more towards while he's working. He doesn't get nearly as distracted as he used to. As long as he knows, as long as I can concentrate on this, I can go home and I can concentrate on something else.
Right.
It's another disorder that gaming has actually helped someone with, that I've seen it help someone with.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm sure all of us have seen it in some way, shape, or form where, you know, gaming has transformed people's lives for the better, not for, you know, being addicted. Like, you know, sometimes people with you know, real mental issues, like, will have tough weeks where they have to, you know, play games for longer to cope. And what should those people be evaluated for an addiction because they're having a bad week where they need to, you know, be gaming for like 10 hours that day in order to, you know, keep dark thoughts out of their heads or whatever, you know? It's like, come on.
You know, I just want to say, to add on to that I have a severe form of PTSD. And a psychologist in the past told me, he's like, it's great that you can play games like GTA and Call of Duty because you can go out there and take your anger out on the characters, and when you get mad, you don't have to worry about screwing up in real life. I was like, amen to that.
Yeah, some people use it for that, for sure. I mean, a lot of people are quick to blame like these, like, you know, like movie theater shootings and, like, you know, terrorist attacks and stuff on games. Well, what about the inverse? Like, what about people that do have PTSD and can't control, you know, their actions and are able to release that in games? Like, it works both ways. And now they're gonna try to push it as something that's like a social like detriment, like that, like people that are addicted to games are like a detriment to society in some way. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes if I start feeling like edgy or upset, I'll turn on Super Mario World because the music and the colors and the cartoon is like,
that's
throwback.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, how can you be mad when you're looking at this thing?
Yeah, how can you be pissed when you hear boop 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 boop? Right, Assassin?
Yep.
Yeah, he agrees. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a serious topic, and I know, like, if you're on either side of the coin, you're probably going to get attacked by the other side in some way. But I think, you know, we have people on this panel that have expressed why they feel the way they do, and people on this panel that have, you know, serious issues that should be taken seriously, you know, as disabilities. And I mean, luckily, like, knock on wood, I haven't had problems like a few of these people here tonight. But if you want to come flame me for being ignorant, then by all means do so. But I cannot believe it saddens me that this is, as a gamer, that this is being considered the same thing as like depression or anxiety or PTSD or something like that. Like, the World Health Organization needs to reevaluate it, do more testing, do more like studies, empirical data. They need to get more data on this before they make a, you know, such a statement or such a declaration, because, like, this is the World Health Organization, so this is like everyone, you know, this is, no matter whether you're watching this podcast like down the street or, you know, across the world, this is going to affect you. So
yeah, I mean, I've talked to plenty of vets that I DM back and forth with that come back from war zones, and gaming helps them because they can't socially adjust to the real world again. They have a hard time from PTSD. So they'll get on Xbox or PlayStation or whatever it is, and they could talk to anyone there without feeling anxiety or fear, and they could just get in a video game world and get lost in it.
Yep. I can't believe that this is that in a time where there are so many games released and so many new consoles coming out left and right, so much to talk about, that this is one of the biggest gaming topics that that people are seriously considering gaming addiction as something that should be listed as something that is debilitating to a human being, to the point where they can't function as a productive member of society in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? If you have other problems, you have other problems that make you, not able to work, or not able to socialize, or not able to provide in some way, shape, or form, or not able to, live your life as, what society deems that you could or should or whatever. But never will I say that gaming is a reason why people can't do that, because you can just put down the controller, man. I know people will say, oh, you can't do, that's like saying you can just put down the bottle, you can just put down the joint or the, crack or whatever, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not saying that. That's not the same. That would be completely ignorant of me if I was just well, you can just put down the bottle, can't you? If I walked up to a smoker and I'm just well, just throw away the pack of cigarettes, man. Just put that butt down. People are equating that with me being bro, you've played too much COD tonight. Your 10th prestige, bro. Just put that thing down for a minute and let's go eat dinner. You know what I mean? It's just come on. Oh man. All right. Any last thoughts on this before I go face my fear outside in 14 inches of snow?
Last thought. This is stupid. I hate this, and I hope that they reverse this soon.
Well, yeah, I guess there is. That's a good point, because I guess there is a possibility that this will not actually get officially ratified, because they've suggested it, if you will, and so now that they've suggested it, people know that it's gonna be, because they have to put out a declaration of the most up-to-date disorders, and that hasn't actually happened yet, but they said that they're going to do it, so that's why people are running with this story. So I guess there is a last ditch effort that could possibly happen where it is omitted, but it's not looking good, I guess. So but yeah, I hope they do too. I mean, they need way more evidence and way more data on this, empirical, real data, not just anecdotal evidence where little Johnny was playing for 24 hours that day without drinking water and died, or whatever it was. Where was it, Assassin? It was in Asia, wasn't it? Wasn't it some Dota player or something?
I don't know.
Not to be racist at all, but I'm pretty sure it was in Asia. Not just
no, I think it was actually a Dota player in Asia.
Nice.
That does sound right.
Yes, I knew I had it right.
If not, I think it was at least a Dota player.
Okay, well, it may not have been in Asia. I'm pretty sure it was an Asian guy, though, which may sound a little more racist. No offense to anyone.
No, because if it was U.S., it would have been way bigger here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
People would have freaked out way more.
As sad as that is, it's true.
Well, do you guys remember the addiction centers for EverQuest and World of Warcraft Online?
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
There are some people that play World of Warcraft that are addicted to gaming. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah.
There are some people that definitely are.
Right.
They need to turn the PC off.
Right, but it's I don't know if no, I don't want to get into this right now. But yeah, with World of Warcraft, I've seen that it's it is debilitating, but it's not, depression or anxiety debilitating. It's literally you just need a minute away from that PC, bro. You just need a minute away from that mouse.
Yeah, it's just turn it off for 2 hours, please.
Right.
Because my sister played a lot of World of Warcraft, and people in her guild were obsessively addicted to that game.
Right.
And it was kind of ridiculous.
Right.
They'd be on at 4 a.m. and wouldn't go to bed for 2 days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's something about that game does draw people that are actually probably addicted.
Yeah, it's these games that you can literally. It's these games where you can literally do something different all the time, or like, farm or whatever.
Destiny.
Yeah. It's games like that have led to this kind of thing being even considered. Like, we didn't think this when people just played Super Mario Brothers like 10 times over and beat the game 10 times over. Like, that wasn't even
Smite.
Smite. Yep, Smite.
Talk about it.
All right, well, yeah, we'll get to Smite next week, but for this podcast, we are finito, dunzo, and now I have to go out and shovel, which I am dreading. Like, did I mention that I was dreading that? Because I'm absolutely dreading it.
Good bit in my place in PubG.
Assassin, I will buy you a PlayStation and a Switch if you come here and shovel right now.
Okay.
Oh, how you
That's about to get a plane ticket.
All right, be here in about a half hour, because after that I have to go.
Oh, half hour? It's going to take me like a few hours.
Well, you better start running, bro.
Running? That'll take me a few weeks. Months, maybe a year.
A year.
All right.
Not that far.
Yeah, Assassin, you can definitely do it in like a month. You do it in like 2 weeks, probably.
2 weeks, yeah.
Let me see.
I'll get around the corner and be like,
Before it
that's
drops
too far, and I'll come back.
Are you gonna check walking distance on the Google Maps?
I am. Before we get out of here, I am. Let me see.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
I'm just gonna do your city, Assassin, because I don't remember your exact address. And let me see, directions to Boston, Massachusetts. I'm assuming walking directions would be the same either way, so I'm not gonna reverse it. Let me see, walking via US 12 West. Oh, there's a bunch of cautions. This route includes a ferry. This route crosses through Canada. This route includes roads that are closed in the winter. Your destination is in a different time zone.
Can he ice skate there?
Use caution. May involve errors or sections not suited for walking, so you better wear your boots. But yeah, it will take you 347 hours to do that. So,
Oh, Jesus.
so that's
I'd rather just play PUBG.
Yeah. But that doesn't include if you run. It's not counting that.
Ugh.
Let me see. Do I have a calculator here? Let me see. 347 hours. What? Divided by
not
24.
that bad.
That's 2 weeks. I said 2 weeks. I said 2 weeks.
Wait, but what if he bikes? How much faster would it be?
Oh, I don't even own a bike.
Well, we'll get you one.
Send you mine.
We'll get you one. Hold on.
God, it's going to be like...
Oh, yeah.
pink or something.
103.
No,
I thought
even
103 hours for that one, Assassin. So, there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
They not good right
That's only 4 days.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, you got that, Assassin. Come show me my driveway, bro. All right.
Have fun getting a bike through the snow, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's play PUBG instead.
Get snow tires on the bike.
Maybe by like next Thursday I'll be on PUBG from all this snow. But yeah, that'll do it.
Better than Fortnite.
I don't know about that. It's close.
Yep.
I mean, it's really close, but
Yeah, but don't take Dan's advice.
built
because
skyscrapers.
He got lawbreakers.
yeah, I mean that is true. Yeah, and he loves what is that game? Oh man, that one from 2K that came out at the same time as Overwatch. I can't remember the name right now. Oh my god, man, the one that flopped, dude. I can't think of the name right now. Battleborn. Yeah, he likes Battleborn as well. So, yeah, right. All right, well, we gotta get out of here. But follow us on, search 4GwQPodcast. You'll find us everywhere. But Twitter, you want to definitely follow us on there. 4GwQPodcast is our handle on there. Follow us all individually. Look out for that Reezy professional gaming stream, if you will. I'll put all the details in the description below if you missed it earlier. That's on this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So go support our boy Reezy. And with that, we're out of here. Peace out, Cub Scouts. I'm going to die. Rest in peace, me.
Bye.